What's going on, Tennessee fans? My name is Joey Petersen. You're watching Tennessee Football Talk. On today's show, like we do every single Friday, we're going to preview who the Vols got tomorrow, Saturday. That, of course, this week is the ETSU Buccaneers. They are what is standing in between the Tennessee Vols and a perfect 2-0 record to start the season. A little bit more for you on ETSU if you don't really pay attention to the Bucs much. That's okay. I don't either. I just did to get ready for this video. They are off to a 1-0 start after blowing out Murray State 45-17. But the Murray State Racers had a 1-11 record last year, so that isn't as impressive as it looks. Head coach Will Healy was hired in December of 2024 after their former head coach took a job with Tulsa. They finished fourth last year in the Southern Conference in 2024. Do we want to keep winning? Okay, because we got 152 likes on last week's preview for Syracuse. This week's, it needs to be better if we want to continue on this win streak. So I need 200 likes on today's show. If you're looking at that like button and we're not to 200, you can help me change that. Okay, hit that thumbs up button for daily videos, all 100% free. And hit that thumbs up button so the Vols can start 2-0 tomorrow. Injury news. We got to discuss it on today's show. This came out I believe it was Monday. I talked about it on the channel then, but Rickey Gibson III will not be playing against ETSU after suffering an injury against Syracuse, and Heupel described it on Monday. He's going to be out for some time, so do not expect to see him tomorrow. My 3 keys to victory. How you take down the ETSU Bucs. Number 1, and I think this one is the most important when you're playing a team like ETSU. You cannot have a letdown game. Okay, you cannot have a game where you're more focused on what's to come than you are on who you're currently playing. And that's not going to be easy for Tennessee because if you look at the upcoming schedule, you see a certain team on there in week 3, the week after tomorrow, and it's easy to kind of get your mind wandering. I'm sure it's easy for these players, these coaches, to want to start preparing for that game, want to get focused on that game, and lose sight of what is to come tomorrow. What is to come on that football field against ETSU. And I get it, okay? You haven't beaten Georgia since 2016. I know it. Not since the Hail Mary. Believe me, I watched this team lose to them 4 years in a row when I was in college. I want them to beat them just as much as anyone. But you cannot be looking to Georgia and just throwing ETSU to the side. Because we'll talk about it in a little bit. It's not like they have bad players. It's not like they have bad quarterback play. This is a team that if everything goes right for them and you're not focused, some things could go wrong for the Vols. What is your score prediction for this game? Let me know in the comment section down below. Obviously, I think we win this one, and I think if we do everything right, we win it big. But I want you guys to get specific for me in the comment section and give me your score prediction. While you're down there, you'll find the link to my X, to my Twitter. Make sure you click on that and give me a follow, okay? I'm currently at 1,200 followers. We have grown a ton since we started this channel. I think I've added around 400 Vol fans. I need to get to 1.3K, so I need 99 Vol fans to be next to follow me on X. I'll be live tweeting the game tomorrow, so if you have not yet, go ahead and give me a follow. Number 2, I'm looking at this offensive line to control the line of scrimmage, okay? I loved what this offensive line was able to do against Syracuse, and I think they're going to be able to do that against ETSU as well. I don't know, it's easy to think, oh, you're playing an opponent that's in the Southern Conference. They probably don't have the horses that other SEC teams do. And while that is correct, they still have 3 guys who are over 300 pounds on that defensive line. And Murray State could tell you that, because they held them to only 34 rush yards while having 9 tackles for loss and 4 sacks. This group was able to get after it against the Racers. Now, I will say, on the flip side of that, when talking about our offensive line, I love the way that they played with violence on Saturday against Syracuse. It felt different, okay? There were a lot of question marks about this group going into the season. I think they answered a lot of those in week 1. Now, they got to continue to stack games. There's a reason they played 12 games and not just 1. But it looked like they were playing a different style of football than they've played in years past. it just looks more powerful. Like I said earlier, more violent. And they opened up plenty of running lanes. This rushing attack was still as good as it's been. You got a different look at it this year because you got 3 guys in the stable, 3 horses in the stable. It's not just one back and a couple of supplementary guys. Even carries pretty much across the board with Star Thomas, Deshaun Bishop, and Peyton Lewis all doing their thing, all making plays, all getting in the end zone as well. So I want to look for this offensive line to continue to make that a possibility for those guys. And at the end of the day, more time in the pocket for Joey Aguilar is going to be better. Because that's going to lead to more completions. And that's just going to lead to a deeper connection and chemistry with these pass catchers, which is really the biggest thing that I want for him in this Week 2 game before that Week 3 game against Georgia. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball for my last key to victory. You got to pressure the quarterback, okay? And that starts with Joshua Josephs doing his thing, okay? I'm not saying just him needs to step up. Everybody needs to. But it's easy to believe and look at ETSU and just think automatically they're not going to have a very, very good quarterback. But you got to realize, Cade McNamara, yeah, that Cade McNamara that played for Michigan, that played for Iowa, he is their starting quarterback. And he actually had a pretty good game last week against Murray State. And then also, you got to think of the fact that they don't just have one former Power 4 guy in that quarterback room. They got 2 of them. Jacoby Criswell as well, who went from UNC to Arkansas, back to UNC, and now is finishing up his career at ETSU. Now, McNamara is the QB1, but they threw Criswell in there for a couple of snaps, and I don't think they'd be shy to throw him in again. They've got some guys who can spin it. Plain and simple. They're not running out there a bunch of schmucks. They're running out some guys who at one point got D1 offers. Cade McNamara was a really highly touted prospect and recruit coming out of high school. But still, in that same breath, like, I love this front 4. It seems a little bit similar to the offensive line, the fact that they just look more violent against Syracuse. And I want to see that continuing against ETSU. They need to be active up front all day long. In the run stop, getting to the passer, disrupting their days. Because this is where you have the big advantage from a school like Tennessee to Eastern Tennessee, right? You got that big advantage of you don't face the same size you're used to facing. ETSU doesn't have quite the big boys up front that Tennessee has, that these guys face every day in practice, so this is the time to absolutely tee off. How many sacks for Tennessee? Okay, I believe they got 5 against Syracuse. I feel like they're going to get at least that many against ETSU. You let me know in the comment section down below how many sacks for the Vols and that front 4 this next weekend. Or I guess literally tomorrow. Before we get out of here, I'm going to give you 3 things I want to see. I gave you the 3 keys to victory. Now these are 3 things I want to see. Increased connection between Joey Aguilar and these pass catchers. I've talked about it ad nauseum over this week. He's only been here since May. So a couple of those miscommunications and missed throws, drop balls, I think a lot of that points to the fact that they have not been with each other for very long. And he's only been named the starter 2 weeks before the regular season, so really only got 2 weeks of consistent reps with the ones. That's going to be important to have that all ironed out by the time you play Georgia. So that's what I want to see, increased connection with the pass catchers. Number 2, I want Ty Redmond to continue to put another good game out there. I was incredibly impressed with what he showed against Syracuse. And it's going to be imperative that somebody steps up in the secondary with Rickey Gibson gone. Now Colton Hood's going to transfer over. He's going to be your cornerback 1. Who's going to step up? Who's going to be that cornerback 2 in Gibson's absence? It very well could be Ty Redmond. Number 3, I want to win comfortably because this team should win comfortably, and I want to do it without injuries. It is so important to have as many guys as you can go against Georgia. So keep these guys healthy, and at the end of the day, win the ball game like you should. You're a better team. You have better players. You're at home. Everything is pointing in the direction of a Tennessee Volunteers win. These are the games you got to dominate, okay? And I want this team to dominate. I think this team will dominate, and I think this team can dominate. Speaking of domination, I'm trying to dominate Vol Twitter, okay? my following's growing a lot. Shout out to all of you guys who have already joined that wave. Be the next one. You can find my Twitter in the comment section down below. Also, you can find my Instagram at Joey Petersen 8. But before we get out of here, I just got to tell you guys to subscribe. We're the fastest growing Tennessee football channel on this platform. We've added over 4,000 subscribers in like 40 days. This thing's catching like wildfire. It's because Vol Nation is so powerful. It's because they're so strong. It's because they're so passionate. If you want a Tennessee fan like myself that's going to bring you daily content 100% free, you found it right here at Tennessee Football.